Have you ever wished to see a deceased ancestor? Ever wanted to see a historical hero? Have you ever wanted to see the dinosaurs in their own time? Well, now it might be possible. A local scientist claims to have created the tool to get us there, the Time Machine by H.G. Wells. He's showing his invention to some of the brightest of minds now. Let's take a look. You must follow me carefully. I shall have to controvert one or two ideas that are almost universally accepted. The geometry, for instance, they taught you in school is founded on a misconception. It's not a large thing to expect us to begin upon. I do not mean to ask you to accept anything without reasonable ground for it. You will soon admit as much as I need from you. You know, of course, that a mathematical line, a line of thickness, NIL, has no real existence. They taught you that. Neither has a mathematical plane. These things are mere abstractions. Nor having only length, breadth, and thickness can a cube have real existence. I object. Of course a solid body may exist. All real things, so most people think. But can an instantaneous cube exist? Don't follow you. Can a cube that does not last for any time at all have a real existence? Clearly, any real body must have an extension in 4 directions. It must have length, breadth, thickness, and duration. But through a natural infirmity such as the flesh, which I will explain to you in a moment, we incline to overlook this fact. There are really 4 dimensions. 3 which we call the 3 planes of space, and a 4th, time. There is, however, a tendency to draw an unreal distinction between the former 3 dimensions and the latter, because it happens that our consciousness moves intermittently in one direction along the latter from the beginning to the end of our lives. Now, it is very remarkable that this is so extensively overlooked. Really, this is what is meant by the 4th dimension. Though some people who talk about the 4th dimension do not know they mean it, it is only another way of looking at time. There is no difference between time and any of the other 3 dimensions of space, except that our consciousness moves along it. But some foolish people have got a hold of the wrong side of that idea. Y'all have all heard what they have to say about that. Let's see your experiment anyhow, though it's all humbug, you know. This little affair is only a model. It is my plan for a machine to travel through time. You will notice that it looks singularly askew, and that there is an odd twinkling about this bar, as though it is in some way unreal. Also, here is one little white lever, and here's another. And I want you to clearly understand that this lever, being pressed forward, will send the machine gliding into the future. And this machine, when pressed backwards, will reverse the motion. This saddle represents the seat of the time traveler. Presently, I'm going to press this lever, and off the machine will go. It will vanish, pass into the future time, and disappear. Have a good look at the thing. Look at the table too, and satisfy yourselves that there is no trickery. I don't want to waste this model and then be told I'm quack. No, lend me your hand. Well, I have a big machine nearly finished in there, and when that is put together, I mean to have a journey of my own account. You mean to say that that machine has traveled into the future? Into the future or the past? I don't for certain know which. It must have gone into the past if it has gone anywhere. Why? Because I presume that it has not moved in space, and if it has traveled into the future, it would still be here all this time, since it must have traveled through this time. You think you can explain that its presentation below the threshold, you know, diluted presentation? Of course, that's a simple point of psychology. I should have thought of it. It's plain enough, and it helps the paradox delightfully. We cannot see it, nor can we appreciate this machine, any more than we can the spoke of a wheel spinning, or a bullet flying through the air. If it is traveling through time 50 times, or 100 times faster than we are, if it gets through a minute while we get through a second, the impression it creates will of course be only 1/50th or 100th of what it would make if it were not traveling through time. That's plain enough. You see? Would you like to see the time machine itself? Upon that machine I intend to explore time. Is that clear? I was never more serious in my entire life.